Before we start, I want to talk about a few things quickly, so if you want to skip to the good stuff, go to this time frame here.
Fuck it, we're talking about speed bumps.
You thought 5 months was bad? You thought that was bad? Let me tell you, you ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing. I don't think anyone cares, but you ain't seen nothing yet. 7 whole months since I uploaded a video. And yeah, I've always wanted to make videos for this channel, but this video was really ambitious and really long. To put it into perspective, I started recording footage for this video in September, October last year. College has been super busy and I just haven't been managing my time well overall, and I still don't, but now this video is finally complete and hopefully it's as good as I wanted it to be. Now, without further ado, let's quickly discuss the story of a development studio named PopCap. PopCap games are comparable to radio. It ain't dead, but chances are you treat it as if it is. They were a big name in the 2000s, with their first major game being Bejeweled, aka Candy Crush before Candy Crush existed. But they really hit it big in the late 2000s with their most iconic game they've ever made, Plants vs. Zombies. A critical and commercial success across the board, practically redefining the tower defense genre of video games overnight, and shot PopCap into even more video game stardom than they already had. But alas, this success came at a consequence. With all the glory they got, they were watched by envious eyes who seemed to want PopCap for their own nefarious purposes of monetary gain. Ubisoft, Activision, but in the end, in 2011, it would be Electronic Arts who would claim the prize. And ever since, the developer has been doomed to make Plants vs. Zombies games that bow down to the unholy pay-to-win model, as well as taking the tower defense game and making a series of third-person shooters with it that I actually heard was pretty good. I mean, I don't understand Garden Warfare at all, but a bunch of people said those games were really good, so I'm not going to judge. Some people like Plants vs. Zombies too. I didn't. It was too pay to win compared to the original. It was hard as nails without milk if you didn't pay your EA tax. And then Plants vs. Zombies 3. This game is such a mess that I'm never gonna touch it. A YouTuber called Danarade had a good video on it. Go check it out so that I don't have to talk about it. So yeah, PopCap aren't doing so well at this point. I guess I'll just have to relax by taking my mind off it. I know. I'll play Formula 1 2020, made by these really cool developers called Codemasters. Son of a bitch. But that's enough of that. I think it's time to celebrate this game. One of the big games I kinda grew up on. I'm going to 100% this game, and show the journey of how. It won't be the first time I've done it, but it may just be the greatest. But first, some ground rules. 1, I'll be playing the original PC release, the first version ever released publicly. This is because it means there's no EA influence in it. Current versions of this game force you to unlock mini-games and puzzle via spending in-game currency. Fuck that. It's a shame because this is arguably one of the best versions to play the game, but it's incredibly inaccessible because EA will do anything to stop you from owning a copy of PvZ that doesn't have their name on it. 2, the overall objective in this playthrough is acquiring the gold trophy, which is given to you after you complete the adventure mode and collect all the trophies in all the side modes. What this means is that I don't have to play any of the endless modes. Facebreaker Endless, iZombie Endless, and Survival Endless aren't necessary, seeing how there is no in-game reward for playing them, no matter how well you do in them. 3, I don't need to buy everything in the shop, because not having everything doesn't stop you from getting the gold trophy. However, there will be many things I'll recommend, because almost none of it is useless. And that's about it. With all that out the way, let's finally get this started. Start a new save file, name it, click adventure. That cackle always scared the shit out of me as a kid. Oh, and rule 4, always click the flowers. First things first, this is Day. Get acquainted with the pea shooter. Day is essentially the tutorial world, where the game tells you how it works. In the first level there is only a few things you need to know. Collect sun, use that sun to place down a pea shooter in one of the tiles. The pea shooter kills the zombie. I always tried seeing how many pea shooters I could place before the level ends. I think my high score of all time is 4. These early levels are short, but it doesn't stay that way for long. The starting plant is a decent B tier. Its practicality is limited. However, it is still a fan favorite. I still don't know how damage works in this game specifically, because some plants do more damage than others. But when it comes to the regular zombie, I still know that it takes 5 Ps to get rid of its arm, and another 5 to kill it. Usually, because if you look closely at the footage, it looks like they die in only 8 Ps. Weird. Maybe it's because it's the first level. It's also worth mentioning that when a zombie loses its arm, that's a sign that they're at half their total health. This doesn't include any kind of hat or object that increases their health. At the end of the level, you unlock the Sunflower, the gateway to endless firepower. It is literally impossible to beat this game without using the Sunflower religiously. The second level opens up, and now you manage 3 lanes. I want to quickly get out of the way of a necessary tactic of this game, which is called lane equality, or at least that's what I call it. The idea that each lane does the exact same firepower. If each of your lanes are all doing something different, it would be a bitch to manage. If they all do the same thing, it's more reliable and easier to manage, so always do that. So, now that I have the Sunflower, the game wants me to put it to the test, and tells me to place around 3 of them. So naturally, I place around 9. Because they're your resource suppliers, you need to put them at the back, safe from the zombies. The more sunflowers you have, the more sun you can get, meaning the more creative you can be in how to kill the zombies. It's for this reason they're an instant S tier plant. As I said, it is literally impossible to beat this game without using them. At the end, you unlock the Cherry Bomb, B tier and an alright plant. Does what it needs to and has its place in the game, especially because it can one-shot 90% of the enemies. But why do I unlock it this early? There are some other plants coming soon that I'd much rather have now instead of the Cherry Bomb, but whatever. Third level is more of the same, except you're introduced to the first unique zombie, the Conehead zombie. Be aware, because they will appear in almost every single level from this point on. Use the Cherry Bomb to wipe out the entire final wave, because why not? And at the end you unlock the Walnut. A tier, very necessary. It's a defensive plant that takes zombies a long time to eat through, making it an effective wall between plants and zombies. Very versatile, I like it. The fourth level is the first level with 5 lanes to work with, and get used to it because you'll be dealing with 5 to 6 lanes for the rest of the game. It's at this point where having to respond to every zombie with a pea shooter is starting to annoy me, but soon we won't have that problem. Afterwards, we're given a shovel, and we meet Crazy Dave, but you can just call him Crazy Dave. He teaches us about how to use the shovel. It allows you to manually remove plants. This is a nice feature and opens up strategies such as replacing weak plants with stronger ones. And then, he takes us bowling. Out of a bowling professional, a gardener, and a guy with a fucking shotgun, would you be surprised if I said that the worst one at killing zombies was the last guy? Yeah, me too. Walnut bowling is pretty simple. The walnuts can ricochet off zombies, so use that to your advantage. You also have the Explodo Nut, insert phallic joke here, which basically acts as a cherry bomb. Try to save them for when you need them, and at the end you unlock the potato mine. Fucking finally. 6th level, we're introduced to the first weird zombie, the pole vaulting zombie. They have a bit more health than a regular zombie, but the most important thing is that they start off fast, and they have the ability to jump over the first plant they come close to, including your walnuts bypassing your defenses. So if one line of walnuts don't work, use 2. If one ain't enough, use more. Dario Casali taught me that one. Alternatively, you can place sunflowers for them to jump over instead. But the good news is that we now have the potato mine, which is S tier. It is a bomb that needs to arm itself for some time before it can one-shot almost all zombies. For only 25 sun, you can kill the first few zombies in a level with this much cheaper option compared to the 100 sun pea shooter, allowing you to put all your sun into getting your sunflowers up as soon as possible. I'll be using this plant right up until the end of the game. Other than that, the rest of the level, and even the rest of day, is pretty standard, and at the end, we unlock the snow pea. And for the 7th level, the snow pea is the only thing we have to talk about, and it's A tier. Good, but not always required. At 175 sun, this thing is the exact same as a pea shooter, only it freezes enemies on contact, slowing them down, which is a powerful ability. Making zombies move and attack slower is really useful, so yeah, good job, Snopey. Also, once we get to the end of the chapter, I'm going to stop referring to levels individually, because they start to blend together. I'll start talking about new plants and zombies as they appear though, and at the end, we unlock the Chomper. Level 8 is the first level where you can pick your own seeds, and obviously, I don't pick the Chomper. Actually, we'll talk about that later. First off, here's the Buckethead zombie. It has around 3 or 4 times the health as a regular zombie, and at this point, there is no simple way to counter it. The best thing you can do is slow it down with the Snow Pea and have it tank inflict damage until it's dead. Okay, let's talk about the Chomper. Unfortunately, I don't have footage of it because I don't use the fucking thing. It can devour almost all zombies in one go by eating them. The problem is that they need to chew the zombie and then they don't do anything while they do so. And it takes around 30 to 40 seconds for them to do this before they can eat another zombie. So here is a plant that costs around 150 sun and it can only kill around 1.5 zombies per minute. And sure, you can argue that it can kill powerful zombies, but it's not easy to influence which zombie it eats. It just eats the first fucking zombie that gets near it. It could be a regular ass zombie for all it cares. So that's why this is a D tier plant. I never use it. Thankfully, I unlock the repeater at the end. The level 9 in each chapter is a true test. This is where you need to put everything together to create a good defense. Use potato mines to buy yourself time, get your sunflowers up as early as possible, start placing your walnuts early. The repeater is an A tier plant. Double the firepower of a pea shooter while being double the price, which is a fair trade, especially seeing how you could have the power of 2 plants in only 1 square, and saving the space for important plants does become relevant later on. I have a bit of a system when planting the pea shooters. If a lane is only dealing with regular zombies, you only need a pea shooter. When a conehead comes into the picture, that's when you place a snow pea, and then do the same again for the buckhead, but this time with the repeater. And if a level is really long, then you could eventually replace the regular pea shooters with repeaters to up that DPS. And with that done, we only have 1 challenge left in day. The final level of each chapter is played in this conveyor belt style, where instead of using sun to get the plants, they're just given to you randomly. There are ups and downs to this system, like how you can't choose what plants you want to get at any time. However, you don't need to worry about sun anymore. You have an endless supply of plants for you to work with. 110 is a wacky level, so I made it even wackier by going into the pause menu and typing future to give zombies funny glasses. Mustache gives them the good old face rats. And finally daisies. Oh, this level is hectic, so just enjoy it while it lasts. Also, the music fucking slaps. A lot of music in this game does. A very well done to Laura Shigehara, who made the soundtrack. And afterwards, after what is by far the largest wave you've seen up until this point, you unlock the Puff Shroom. And chapter 1 is complete.